The raza technique is a system of teaching created by Professor Rafael Zamaripa during a lapse of approximately 40 years of investigation. This technique has particular characteristics which demonstrates it as a revolutionary option for the formation of dancers of Mexican folklore. Within his extensive experiences in performing arts in this technique, the founder brings forth the elements necessary to understand that a folkloric dancer requires a training that shall allow an opportunity for full artistic development. Therefore, Tecnica raza, from its first sequences, promotes that the dancer will find himself not only within a routine of zapateado or footwork, but also within a world of movements, qualities, and intensities, where dancers embark on a journey in recognizing their body and capabilities. Why the rise of Tecnica? Just like any other training for various dance styles within the arts, arose the necessity to create a system of conditioning and training for folkloric dancers, with the need of offering a system that integrated the use of zapateado with technical styles that already existed, such as ballet and contemporary. Professor Zamaripa began cultivating a mixture of sequences of footwork that was formed and perfected through time, starting with the combination of technical footwork and gram technique for folkloric dancers. The raza technique is defined by the acronyms of the professor's name, Ra for Rafael and Za for Zamaripa. With the passing of time, the methodology that flourished from the start of this technique has gradually converted into today as one of the most functional and effective training methods for professional dancers in this genre. Before delving into what the technique consists of, it is worth mentioning that the raza technique has been a mixture of different inspirations within techniques that are already being used for dancers. For example, the spirals, contractions, and high releases from gram technique, the port de bras, croisé exercises, the gradual positions of a tendu, jeté, and grand battement to grande jambes of classic ballet, as well as the use of different tones, tempos, chimes, nuances, and repetition of footwork and other aspects of sound like that of flamenco. The raza technique and what it consists of. Like we mentioned in the beginning of this video, the raza technique is a functional training method that permits the folkloric dancers to have an ample vision and detailed understanding of how to use their body as a medium of communication for generating dance. In summary, the elements previously mentioned, abstracted from the most fundamental dance techniques, will provide the dancer certain aspects, such as memorization of the sequences, conscientious use of space, kinesphere known in the world of dance, strength, corporal work, dynamics of movements that will focus the dancer on the quality of movement and execution. The raza technique, working from the start, is a composition of nuances of sounds, the use of segmented arms, symmetrical and asymmetrical, and the work of spirals and endless variations in terms of footwork that can be generated. The dancer develops a musicality interpreted from their body in every extension, coordination, and memorization that form part of the intelligences required for the creation of sequences that generate dynamism for the dancer who executes it. If we could break down the raza technique, there would be a need to specify general points such as posture, breathing, muscular strength, corporal memory, resistance, working through oppositional strengths, the use of footwork, coordination, control of tones within footwork, focuses energy, musicality, interpretation, intention, and understanding of kinesthetics. It is necessary for the folkloric dancer to practice the raza technique. As a dancer, it is not required to practice technique. It can be viewed as optional. But as a fundamental for a dancer to be defined by their professionalism, it is important and mandatory to execute technique. Some dancers, such as the Ballet Folklorico of Amalia Hernandez, use classic ballet as a technique to generate discipline and understanding in a way that translates their choreographies to pieces of live art on stage. In the same way, other folkloric dancers have appropriated techniques such as gram, horton, limon, and inclusive and alternative techniques like contact improvisation or jiu-jitsu as a major way to control their body. We need to understand that as dancers, technique will always contribute to a dancer's growth, not take away from one's abilities. Just because technique can be tedious and methodical, we should not waste or underappreciate it. Essentially, technique should be the foundation for all artistic works of art, and the perfectionism of this as an indispensable element to separate quality from quantity in regards to movement. Technique searches for the pathway for a dancer to find their point of exploration within itself and their movement, their identity in a social sphere as its method to communicate its art. Going back to the theme of raza, this technique has been a fundamental tool for dancers that have had the opportunity in being introduced to it, permitting the dancer to amplify the panorama of their artistic manifestations and services as a bridge of inspirations for new creation. Nowadays, what is known as raza technique has been a long and extensive process, not only for the founder, but also for the roots planted from dancers, investigators, teachers, academics, and experts within the subject, in order to create quality material that can serve as a methodology in perfecting movements of folkloric dancers. Raza technique is without a doubt a professional formative tool that generates interest of those who search in amplifying their knowledge in corporal language, that are searching to construct through dialogue, and a method that makes the dancers conscious of their movement in dance, their objectives, starting from the general to the more specific, and as a way to find a purpose, a state in which the dancer can be and do with dance through the use of technique as a language and to inspire others.